my name's Kate Fuller and I'm the yard manager at Plumpton College, and this is Conspirato, one of our horses at the college. Today I'm going to go through how we groom and why we groom. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure we're safe and tie him up. Okay, so it's important to know why we groom our horses. The most obvious reason for grooming is to improve the appearance of a horse. It makes them look nice and smart and tidy. It also provides some extra bonding time with your horse. It's nice to spend that quality time with your horse, and horses enjoy being groomed. Whilst you're grooming your horse, you're using your hands. You can feel if there's any changes in your horse. You can feel for any heat or swelling. It's a chance for you to check to make sure there's no injuries with your horse. Grooming also prevents any skin diseases. You're grooming, you're removing that dust, grease, and it keeps the horses in much better condition. Grooming also it can improve the circulation of your horse, okay, and can also help in building muscle tone. Okay, so now our horse is secure, we can have a look at our grooming equipment. Our first item in our grooming kit is our body brush. Our body brush can be used on the horse's body, on stabled horses and clipped horses. It can also be used on the horse's face, mane and tail. We tend not to use the body brush on field-kept ponies, purely because it does tend to remove the oil and the grease that those ponies will need out in the field. Next we have our dandy brush. Our dandy brush has the longer bristles. Dandy brush can be used on field-kept horses. It can be used on the legs of stabled kept horses and clipped horses. Ideally we do not use it on the horse's mane, tail or face. Next we have our water brush. Our water brush can be used once we've picked our horse's feet out, used in conjunction with water in a bucket to remove the mud from the horse's feet. We have a metal curry comb. A metal curry comb must not ever be used on the horse. It is purely to be used in conjunction with one of our other brushes. So here I have our body brush, and it's used to clean the body brush to remove the dirt and the excess hair. Next we have our plastic curry comb. Plastic curry comb can be used on the body of field-kept horses to remove those really stuck bits of mud. We tend not to use it on our stable-kept horses. We certainly do not use it on any bony areas, including the head. Try not to use it on the horse's mane and tail because it does just remove too many hairs. Next we have our rubber curry comb. This is used on our field-kept horses, our hairy, muddy ponies, particularly in the springtime when they're losing their thick winter coats. It's used in a circular motion to remove the excess hair and dirt, and then you can brush the horse. Got a hoof pick. Hoof pick, remembering to pick your horse's feet out at least twice a day. A mane comb. Make sure our horse's manes and tails are nice and tidy. I've then got two sponges. I've got one sponge to clean the horse's dock, one sponge to clean the horse's nose, and then I prefer to use cotton wool when we're cleaning the horse's eyes. Damp cotton wool, separate piece on each eye to remove any excess dirt or gunk, and then it can be thrown away. And then finally, once we've groomed our horses, we can use a stable rubber just to complete our groom to make the horse have that extra shine. So we're now going to go through how to groom. First of all, like using my mane comb, I brush through the horse's mane to remove any shavings or straw, remove any mud particles, and then they can easily be brushed from the horse's neck. So I would go through the horse's mane, forelock, and possibly the horse's tail. Because Conspirato is a stable-kept horse, I'm going to be using a body brush and in conjunction with my metal curry comb. If I'm grooming the horse, I would always make sure that I'm facing towards the back. My nearest hand will be the hand with the brush. So, starting off with the horse's neck, nice big strokes with the brush, turning away, cleaning, and I would turn away so that the dust doesn't go back onto the horse. There's no point tickling the horse when you're grooming it. You need to use nice long strokes, hard strokes to remove that dust, helping the circulation. And I would start at the head, continue down the body, always facing the back of the horse. making sure you get into all those areas where the tack might be, particularly around the horse's elbow and in the girth area. Once I've finished with my body brush, metal curry comb, moving away from the horse, just banging it on the ground, and that can be swept up at a later stage. I would obviously do both sides of the horse and all over the horse's body. To do the horse's legs, he's got quite hairy legs, so I'm going to use my dandy brush, again facing the back of the horse and getting into those areas, making sure you particularly get to the heel area around here to prevent any build-up of mud and grease and preventing the skin diseases that you really don't want. I would do that on all 4 legs using the dandy brush. If Conspirito were kept in the field and he was hairy and muddy, I would use my rubber curry comb, and this would be used in a circular motion over the horse's body, like so, to remove the loose hairs, remove the dust, and I would do that all over his body. Okay, just being a little bit careful of the ticklish areas, and particularly the bony areas such as his hip, and I certainly wouldn't use it on his face. I would then go back and use my body brush or dandy brush to remove that loose hair and mud. And then we would move on to picking out the horse's feet. So our final piece of the grooming is to groom the horse's head. For safety reasons, we would always untie the horse and just making sure the rope is through the string. We do that in case the horse panics. He doesn't panic and pull back. The horse is nice and safe but still secure. When we're grooming the horse's head, making sure that you use your hand over the horse's nose and be very gentle around the horse's head area, particularly the eye area, but making sure you do remove any sweat stains from around the horse's ears. We would do that all over the face. And then Sharon, if you'd like to come and clean his eyes and nose for me. As I said before, I'd always prefer to use cotton wool. It is more hygienic to clean the horse's eyes. So using separate pieces on each eye so there's no cross-contamination. So using a damp piece of cotton wool, that's it, and just gently putting your hand over the horse's nose, reassuring him, removing any discharge that might be in the corner of his eye. Super. And then we're going to use a sponge for his nose. Again, just removing any dry mucus or any dust that's built up in the horse's nostril. So nice warm water, damp sponge. Good. Just a reassuring hand over the nose and cleaning the horse's nose. Super. Again, ideally, you would use cotton wool, separate pieces on each nostril, again to avoid that cross-contamination. Super, and then we'll tie him up, and finally we'll clean his stock. Okay, so that's it. Conspirito's nice and clean, ready to go back into his stable. I hope you've enjoyed your How to Groom. Thank you very much.